you ever felt frustrated, overwhelmed, or stuck wasting time in admin instead of growing, leveraging, and scaling your business? Then this podcast is for you. Welcome to Delegate to Elevate, the podcast that's all about handing off what you don't need to do so you can focus on what you do best. So here's your host, Bonnie Schutz.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Delegate to Elevate. Get done. I'm your host, Bonnie Schutz. I am joined today by my friend, Mara Whitener. She is a colleague of mine, and we also belong to a same networking community of women rock stars making 6, 7, and 8 figures. So I'd like to tell you a little bit more about her, if I may. So if you're looking to unlock the secrets to business success, look no further than Mara. With over 20 years of experience scaling and selling businesses, I did it. It's Mara, not Mara. Mara is a seasoned entrepreneur and growth expert who brings a unique blend of precision, passion for systems, love that, and a proven track record of success. Mara's journey from international business degrees to building and selling multiple 6 and 7 figure businesses, wowzers, making her uniquely equipped to help you pinpoint the missing pieces in your operational puzzle. She's an enthusiastic supporter of systems, SOPs, and metrics, and finds joy in ensuring your systems and team run seamlessly. As your business operations puzzle master, love that too, Mara has crafted fully custom support systems for numerous CEOs, engineered to bring your unique visions to life. She aims to create time and mental space for you, empowering you to take on more clients, save money, and focus on what you love most. Mara understands that growing your business your way is finding the right way that uniquely suits you. It doesn't have to feel hectic daily, and she's here to fix any hidden problems in your operations. Plus, Mara is not just a business maven. She's also a dedicated kitten foster parent, a winner of 5 congressional awards for community leadership, and an introvert, no way, who thrives behind the scenes. Mara's dedication to your success is unmatched. Let's unpuzzle your business so it feels easy to operate and fills the big vision for your life and impact. Welcome, Mara, and sorry for flubbing your name even after we just talked about it.
No, you're fine. Thank you. I'm glad to be here. I appreciate you inviting me.
Absolutely. So what you do is near and dear to my heart and so relevant for me and my business. And so I would love to learn a little bit more about how you got into being this puzzle master and why you like doing this. I mean, there are some of us that like the details. So maybe tell us a little bit more about yourself and what you do.
Yeah, that's a long story for another day, but kind of how what got me into the role that I'm playing right now. I've had a long career of kind of operating in the background, building, like working in the logistics, working in growing in different capacities in other businesses, including my own. And really the last business that I had grew really, really quickly. And I started having colleagues, I had competitors, they'd reach out, they're like, how do you do what you do? Because every business you've started just takes off.
Yeah.
And it kind of got me thinking, like, well, what comes naturally to me, which is figuring out all the right pieces to make it run, from the systems that you use to the people you bring on to the resources you tap into to the marketing approaches that you use to how you go about your sales, basically all the things that make your business run, that make your business operate. I've always put together the right pieces.
Nice.
And so I started just helping them on the side. I was like, okay, you're struggling. You're trying to have a life over here, carry your kids over here, not forget about your husband over here. But you're also trying to build this business and it's chaotic and this is not at all what you pictured.
Right.
And so I started helping them just sort through the things.
Yeah.
These are impressive women, incredibly smart women, talented, not stupid women, but just everything's right in front of your face and you can't see it.
Right.
You can't see where the gaps are. And so I just started helping them on the side, and it became very clear very quickly that was really my calling.
I love that. And that is so awesome that people can find people like you when they're ready to delegate or find a partner, an accountability person, and to help them if they're just so struggling with all the chaos and all the juggling. There really is resources for that. I love it.
Correct. And it's really, so we started sorting through, great, you have that resource. Maybe it's not the right one for right now. Right. This may be more appropriate right now. And it's really just about aligning all the right things at the right time. Yeah. And when I say that shifts as you grow, that shifts as you go into different phases. So you have to learn how to align it all the time to you, to your vision, to everything that it is you want to accomplish, which you feel like you're already doing. But what happens is you're so close to it. Yeah. And as the visionary, as the leader, you're like, I have this idea and I have this idea and this is I want to do. And then you may have a team and you're working with them and maybe they don't fully embody the vision. And so then you still feel like you're an island on your own. And there was just a lot. They're like, I just want someone who knows what to tell me to do. Absolutely. They can help analyze all of these options that can help me determine, is this the right mix? Because it's not feeling like it, but I've tried this. I'm an educated woman. I don't feel like I'm making stupid decisions, but it's just not coming together. There's just pieces that don't feel right. Right. And
I love that. So they're not delegating to elevate in this sense. They need to delegate to elevate, and they need to find the right resource to do so. But what about you in your own business? Have you ever delegated? Have you hired some or outsourced some parts of your business? And what was that experience like?
Oh, yeah. In all of my businesses, actually, I've delegated and had teams. So it's been a different journey for each and every business. My current business, I have a team. I have a small team. I have made some shifts in the last 6 months or so to shift my team based on the shift of my focus of my business. So that's a shout out for people that are shifting their focus, which is a lot of you out there right now.
Yes, we are.
It's okay to shift your team and those around you. But I really found it's a journey when you go to delegate. There can be some, I don't like to say failures because they're not failures, but they certainly feel like that in the moment. You're like, this sounded like a great idea. It's not working out to be that. And what I find is, I make some of the same mistakes that I have clients that make those same mistakes. So I'm usually advising completely out of experience. But the key point to any delegation, to bringing in any resource, whether it's delegating to a VA, delegating to an OBM, delegating to
a marketing agency.
Yeah, a marketing agency, whoever it is, but delegating or bringing in a coach, bringing in a mentor. It's any, my definition of team is really any resource, any person, anything that you lean on to help you do what you do.
Absolutely.
And that includes mentors and things like that.
But I always say you're delegating your brain or delegating your mind to a coach or a mentor. And I spoke with that on my very first guest episode with somebody too, Ron Ben Joseph. And he loved that concept. And I was like, I thought it was pretty cool too, because I delegated my mind to a coach. And if you really think outside the box, it is a delegation because you're giving up your old mindset. And for me, we talked about this before we got started today about my financial bugaboos and the whole oh God, when do I spend money? Do you have any input on that? When do I take a chance?
Yeah. What I spend, and I probably spent most of my morning doing it as well with my CEOs I'm partnering with right now, is I act as that person that can take, okay, this is what we're working towards. Mm-hmm. This is what you have going on right now. This is what you say you want to have happen. This is what's standing in your way.
Mm.
and can help you sort through those, because we always have opportunities coming at us, right? Like we're meeting people. Oh, that sounds interesting. Should I do this? It gets really cluttered up here going, well, that feels right. But then I already have this. But then I had the freedom that comes from being able to I work primarily on Voxer, but pick up a phone, pick up Voxer, whatever it is, and go, I have this that I'm thinking about. This is why I think it's this way. I'm scared about this. Listen, it feels like a lonely, isolated island up here at the top, but there's feelings, there's things that happen for us, and we're not always vulnerable to share it. But when we can be vulnerable and then get the right advice on what we need to do to address it, the time and the mental energy savings for that is tremendous.
Soft value, yes.
Yeah, like when, you were saying your money bugaboos, if you have someone to go to and say, this is what I'm feeling, this is what I just happened, great, I see it, this is what you need to go do to start addressing it.
Nice.
It saves so much time, it saves so much mental energy. I know everyone out there, whether you want to admit it or not, has woken yourself up at night thinking about things, is cooking dinner and you're trying to solve what VA do I hire?
Or not being able to go to sleep because you're thinking about the next day. Yeah.
Correct. You're straight like, I just made a really big investment and I hope it works out. Like all of this is just stress. It's weight of the world. But when you can lean on someone and go, okay, I made this. I trust I made the right decision, but then I'm also feeling this. Or I don't know if I'm making the right decision. How can I determine how to make the right decision? And that's essentially what I do every day.
I love that service. That's a fantastic service that I didn't know existed. But kudos to you, because that is so cool. Yeah, it's picking and choosing, and I love that you have those conversations with them. Okay, you just invested this money in this. Let's look at your cash flow. Let's look at what you got going on, what's coming in, and to kind of even just have those moments with somebody that you trust to talk about what'll work and what won't, to just give it to you the hardcore. That is not going to work. You don't have the money for that. You will have the money in about a year for that. So it's like, use your resources. And what I've said before in the past is use your free resources too, like in these networking groups, like network people, because you never know what somebody knows that's willing to give to you free and tell you. Right. I have really leaned into investing in myself in the last year or so. And that has been golden. It was tough. Let me tell you, it was tough. But I know all about delegation because of what my team and I do. But, being a delegator myself, that was something I had to get past. Like I wasn't quite as good at it as I thought I would be.
And it's definitely a mental journey. And what I see with folks of, I had this OBM and they weren't working out. And so I'm just going to go back to doing it all myself. Okay, big mistake. Like we need to chat if that's what you did. Right. Or I've been through 5 VAs and I just don't think it's a mix. The single common denominator in all of that is there wasn't the clarity that was necessary for you to make the right decision and get the right resource.
Ooh, awesome. Golden nugget right there.
Period. And it's not an attack.
No.
I did it myself. Okay. It happened. We're in the middle and we think we need all of this. And then there's expectations that then they aren't met. And then if we just stop a moment, really analyze what we have going on, what the big picture is.
Right.
Do I just hire for this need right now, or do I hire for someone that I can grow with because I'm working towards this? Yeah. What does the budget say? Everyone goes to, but I don't have the budget right now. Great. Yeah. You're also going to spend more money if you do this, and then you need this.
Or
and
if you don't do this.
Yeah. Correct. And so clarity, I know it seems like it's an overused term, but it's also 100% accurate.
That I talk about, one of my I have 7 C words that help you to be a better delegator and work through being a delegation expert and, that delegation muscle and clarity I talk about on almost every episode. It's like with this remote world, clarity and communication are so key, which is also another overused term. Communication is key. But whoever came up with that was a rock star, because it is so true. Why have all this gray area when you could just clearly communicate exactly what you need or what you're out for? Ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask a lot of questions to get the clarification.
Half of and I know you see it on an everyday basis in your agency, those that are clearer, those that communicate better, that whole relationship is like a dream.
It is.
Then those that don't, and that's okay. Maybe they don't know how yet, or they're not, they don't know that they aren't. It makes for a frustrating relationship on both ends.
Yeah.
And I've seen it. And in fact, it was half the conversations I had with people this morning was, well, I'm frustrated about this. And I have a conversation. Okay, we need to say this. What are you feeling here? Be honest about here. And it's just really kind of just cutting through the feeling, cutting through, all of the up there, which as women get older, there's more of that. We'll talk about that in a minute.
During the day, all my
right. Yeah. We were having that conversation before. We'll get into that one. But the older we get, the more hormones, it's turns into a mess up here. But the clearer you can get, the clearer you can stay, the clearer you can communicate, even when things are chaotic, admitting it's chaotic and asking for the support to unchaotic it. Unchaotic it. I just made up a word and I kind of like it.
I make up words all the time.
Right, I kind of like it. Yeah, the more time and energy you're going to save yourself, and it's a scary thing.
And it's a skill. It's a skill you have to build.
It is a skill.
You're not going to jump right in to be an amazing communicator. I mean, but you're going to have to learn if you're going to delegate. Period.
Yeah, or you're going to have turnover like no one's business.
Nobody wants that. That's such a headache.
It costs you a heck of a lot more money. Part of being a CEO, part of being a leader in general is learning how to elevate yourself and then holding space to set those that you bring on up for success. Just having this conversation. Someone brought on a new VA. It's one of my favorite conversations. Brought on a new VA. Day 4. Today's Thursday, day 4. Day 4. Having a conversation. I mean, I passed along the SOPs, which I got to commend. The SOPs are
pretty badass.
They're badass. Like I'm gonna go on the ledge. I'm like, that's pretty fantastic. But the expectation was, I've handed you this. I expect you to read it and then just know what you're doing.
Oof.
So we had to have a conversation around, is that how you would want to be treated?
Yeah. Just here's a manual. Do it right.
Yeah. Also, do you learn by reading? I don't. I could read all day long and half of it I won't retain. But by doing it and by experiencing it, so I learn. Auditory is more my thing.
Yeah.
But I learn a different way. So you could hand me a manual and it's great for reference when I have a question. Right. But am I going to pick that up? No. But if you sit on an hour Zoom call with me, you take the time, you show me,
make my notes. Space for me to learn.
That's part of what we have to hold. And that is a big adjustment, even if you've come from corporate, even if you've come from a background of leading, worked with a lot of those coming from corporate, now owning their own business. It's a whole nother animal. You don't have corporate departments that run other things.
No, I can't run into my coworker's office and close the door and scream. I can't.
No, you don't have the finance department down the hall that is worrying about billing and invoicing and paying your bills.
And that's me. I'm a corporate dropout. So try almost 30 years of that corporate mindset and how I was one being delegated to, but I also, like you said, I had people to run to in different departments. But doing this, where everything rolls up to me, I have to think as if I am every department and I am HR and I want to not keep hiring people and firing people. I want to make it a good match and I want to create that space, that time, and know from the get, it's going to take some of my time to get this person up to par and to be able to represent me and my business well, right?
Yeah. So that's where getting clear who it is you need to get, what exactly you need them to do, and then you making the commitment when you bring them on board to not in day 4 go, I mean, this is simple. Like, they should get it. I'm like, really?
Yeah,
Did they treat you that way in your first job?
Yeah.
It wasn't this VA's first job. But
Yeah.
just like, do you want to be treated that way? He came to you and asked questions, got a message 30 minutes later. That was a great conversation. Yeah, he just had some questions. He was honest. He was like, I didn't read the process, but I was so eager to do the job for you, and so I just jumped in and I did it. So he made mistakes.
Yeah.
And so they got the questions. They ran through a few things. They clarified it. Everyone's good to go.
Mistakes will be made in the beginning. They will be. We're human.
Yes. Yes. But take the time. We did not get where we are without people taking the time to pull us aside and go,
not quite right.
Maybe try this a different way.
Yeah.
Maybe learn that. So we didn't get here by people not taking the time to believe in us.
Yes.
Or to teach us.
Yes. And I always say, have faith in the fact that you did your due diligence when you were looking for this person to fill this role for you, that you interviewed them well, you got some references, you did a trial run, whatever it is that you do, have faith in yourself, especially if you're a woman of a certain age. You've lived a little bit. You've seen some bad stuff happen and some bad choices made. Heaven forbid, not speaking from personal experience, I swear.
No, not me at all.
Yeah. No. I'm not on my second marriage. Am I? All this stuff, But yet you can compare it to life. Business is life for me now. But, I want to have the space to go on trips and be with my family and have a bad day and go need to take a nap. And I know that sounds kind of lazy, but I didn't do this and get into business to be so stuck in all the weeds and all the day to day that I'm unable to delegate to people.
Well, that's the whole reason. It's the whole reason I exist. It's the whole reason I do what I do. But it's the whole reason you structure your day, you structure your team, you structure your business, you structure your offers, you structure your marketing, you structure literally every single thing around you to you and to what you want to accomplish.
Yeah.
I have a client I've worked with close to 2 years now. I think every year she's been up 30 or 40% in revenue year over year. But I use human design in all of my work. Like, that's my chosen tool. There's a lot of them out there. Yeah. My chosen tool to get really under the covers with how a CEO operates. And she's not built to just do. And she has young kids. And we've taken her from a 5-6 day work week, building a firm, to she works 3 and she homeschools her daughter.
Oh, God bless her.
And she's in tax season. She's in tax season, working 3 days a week and homeschooling her daughter, and her revenue's up. But it's all about getting clear on what you need to do, clear on what you need to delegate, clear on who you need to surround yourself with.
Right.
And that's how you build it. That's how you build the ease. That's how I've sat, which you can't see, but I have a gigantic Chase chair in here.
Ooh,
and I've sat in my Chase chair all morning because that's where I felt I needed to do what I needed to do. And I meditate every morning. I meditate every evening. I read for at least an hour a day. Like, my self-care routine is probably about 3 hours a day, non-negotiable.
I love it. Can you tell me now, this is going to sound silly. I sound so goofy. I don't even know exactly what human design is. What is it in a short little speech here for me?
Human design is based off your birth date, the exact time you were born, and where you were born.
Ooh,
it was developed in the 80s. It combines kind of I Ching. There's a little bit of astrology. There's some science involved. There's about 5 or 6 different philosophies that are kind of crunched together. But what it does is it's unlike any other tool or assessment, because assessments are based on how you answer that question in the moment, which I'm sorry, I've had 2 different answers on Myers-Briggs.
Yeah, me too.
I'm in a different space in my life. So it depends on how you answer the questions. Now, a lot of them are very accurate. This is not downing other tools. I get curious and I love to explore tools, but this one, it doesn't depend on them answering questions. It's literally based on how they're built. And I have never gotten off of a call, whether it's just a short, sweet strategy session with someone or one of my partners, where they're not enlightened with something that I come up with from their chart. I was like, have you ever felt this way? Does this happen? And I can go into very specific detail. They're like, yeah. I'm like,
Nice.
So this is what we need to do to address it. Do you ever get frustrated at things? About 70% of the population, that's going to be their red flag that they're doing something around someone or something's not aligned.
Okay. Yeah.
And so that's my red flag. So anytime it's easier to hone in on the big frustrations. We start there, we go down to the little ones, but the more you can learn to hone in on just that little, I'm frustrated. What's that all about? And identify it in the moment. Holy cow, you can pivot, you can change, you can save yourself a whole lot of headache rather than weeks, months, years.
Letting it fester, yeah.
I just put up with it for this reason. How'd that work out for you?
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's kind of the secret in my back pocket. We use a lot of it in what I do, and then I use it in the retreat that I co-host every year in Bali.
Where can people learn about that?
They can reach out to me, connect with me. It's kind of by private invitation. It is a small, it's CEO and Flow. It is in November of this year, the 12th to the 19th in Bali.
Ooh. That sounds awesome.
There's an option to come afterwards with us to a beach villa as well. But the whole goal of being CEO and Flow is for you to get away, get back to center, get the clarity, really what it is that you want to do, really what your zone of genius is. My co-host, Lori Conkler, is just phenomenal. It's mind-blowing about immediately honing in on really, truly where your power lies. And then we work together to know what needs to shift for you to hone in on that one. One of our attendees last year had 80,000 in business while sitting at the retreat. And since then has honed out for a whole new position for herself, has delegated all of the stuff that she did not need to be doing, is doing more business than she's ever done. In fact, I think she had $100,000 couple weeks, just a couple weeks ago. I mean, this is all November of last year. Fully has brought on a whole brand new assistant, full-time, like all kinds of changes just in a few months. She's now back out playing pickleball. She's going to play music. She wasn't doing any of this. She was traveling 20 days a month. She was burnout. She was exhausted. She loved what she did, or so she thought. Then she got the clarity of, but I really like that part and not that part. But I really like that part. That one's okay. And so we helped her pick through that and really pull out what it is she was supposed to do, and then helped her develop a plan of how to focus around that and how to change what needed to be changed. And a few months later, she's on fire.
That is so cool. So like as a takeaway today, I mean, just me like soaking in what you've been saying, like, it's like, I really need to know what I want. I really have to need the clarity around what I need, what I like to do in my business, what I want not to do in my business. And there are people out there that you may think nobody's going to want to do my books, but some people love the books, just keep those books away and give yourself back those hours that you're trying to figure out QuickBooks or, my calendar's like overflowing and everything's overlapping. Like, get me somebody that can do that calendar and be a rock star at it. and give me back the time, like you said, to let me meditate for a few hours before I start my day. But I think really a lot of recognizing your own traits, your own human design is a really good thing that I think I'm going to look into myself. Because I mean, I feel like I know me after 57 years in June. I should know me, but maybe I don't. Women, like we mentioned earlier, we change over the years. And especially at a certain part of our lives, we start to change and you become such a different person. So learn who you are, and then give that grace when you're delegating or when you're outsourcing something in your business. It takes a little time and you've got to know that, and you've got to ask questions and allow them to ask questions. That's kind of my takeaway. Is there anything else you might share or impart upon this audience as a takeaway today?
Yeah, no, that's a big takeaway. Clarity is the key. And don't be embarrassed by exploring that clarity. Listen, we're all bombarded with all the marketing options, all the sales options, all the delegation options, help options, all the things, and they all sound fantastic.
Yeah.
But you don't have the time, you don't have the energy to waste it on things that aren't right for you. And it's okay to take a little bit of time to figure that out. It's okay to reach out for support just to figure that part out. Yeah. We're an ever-changing being. We're an ever-growing being. We can always learn new things about ourselves where we thought we had a great understanding, and we do at the time. But there's always more that we can learn. So being open and willing to embrace it, and then to step forward into whatever that means for you.
That's a perfect note to end today on. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I've learned a lot, very impactful today. Thank you so much, Mara. I can't thank you more.
Thank you for having me. I've enjoyed it.
Absolutely. We will share everything there is to know about Mara underneath this video and this audio today. We will share that as well. Please like, share, comment, give me some questions. Let me know if this resonated with you. I know it resonated with me today a lot. So I hope you'll continue to join this lovely podcast that we are building. And let me know if there's some other subject I can bring Mara back for that she can, expand upon. Let's do a whole human design episode. If that helps you be a better delegator, let's do it. Let's elevate.
We could do human design, or I can share some of my secrets for how we find lots of money hiding in your business.
Ooh, money, yes. Money definitely is a boogaboo. If I could speak, we'd be good. So let me stop speaking and say, have a great day, everybody. Thank you so much. Bye.
So that's it for today's episode of Delegate to Elevate. Head on over to Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen and subscribe to the show. One lucky listener every single week that posts a review on Apple Podcasts or iTunes will win a chance in the grand prize drawing to win a $15,000 private VIP day with Bonnie herself. Be sure to head on over to delegatetoelevatepodcast.com. That's with the number 2. And pick up a free copy of Bonnie's gift and join us on the next episode.